The winger situation at Arsenal is continuing to baffle me as we get linked to many, many more wingers across the board, which I find so strange because Arsenal have, of course, bringing in Willian and have so many young guns at the club. But that hasn't stopped the media from linking us to yet another. And today we're going to break him down. Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Tactical Breakdown series, the show in which we look at the players that have been linked to Arsenal and break them down in an analytical and statistical way with, of course, the help of our fantastic experts and get their insight and giving us more information about who these players are. Today, we are talking about Mr. Quincy Promes, who is the Dutch winger at Ajax, currently is playing for the national team as well, formerly playing in Russia as well, which is he's played in a fair number of places as Quincy Promes. So it's going to be interesting to break him down. Is he a player that Arsenal are going to be looking at? He's in his late 20s now. But a good place to start to obviously tell us that little bit more is with our expert. Before we jump into that, please make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and turn those notifications on so you never miss a show. But I'm going to throw to my Dutch friend. Well, I mean, he's a Dutch expert for sure. But James Rowe is fantastic in terms of Dutch football, and that is why I've contacted him regarding giving us this information. And he's going to tell you all about Quincy Promes right now.
Hello everybody, my name is James Rowe. Tom of the Gooner Talk asked me to record a quick video about Quincy Promes. I'm sure that many Gooners have realised that he's been linked with Arsenal in recent days, and I just wanted to give a short video as to the type of player that he is. He's a very quick player, very successful on rebounds, as well as having good aerial ability and good pace. Although with his career so far coming through here at FC Twente, a very successful loan spell at Go Ahead Eagles, and then signing for Spartak Moscow and then subsequently Sevilla, before returning to the city of his birth, Amsterdam, to play for Ajax. I think if he was to sign for Arsenal, Gooners cannot really expect a typical winger. I think we'll see someone who's will come in off the left on a regular basis and look to create in the centre. As I've also stated on my own Twitter, I don't believe that this is completely true, these links. I believe that they're exaggerated by the UK media. I think if we are going to go Dutch, I think we've got to look at the likes of Stengs at AZ, as well as Koopmeiners and also Wout Weghorst, but we'll just have to wait and see. I hope you enjoyed this little piece of info about Quincy Promes. Feel free to give Tom a follow at the Gooner Talk. You can also follow me on @JamesRoweNL for all the latest with Dutch football news, as well as my regular interviews with professional players and managers. Finally, I hope everybody's keeping safe in these strange times. Stay safe and up the Arsenal. Bye-bye.
Yes, I love James because he plugs my own Twitter. How great's that? Lovely stuff. But yeah, no, please do go give James a follow on Twitter. He's fantastic for his player interviews and manager interviews as well. Really, really fantastic stuff going on. And thank you, James, for giving us the insight on Quincy Promes. Yeah, seemingly those links may be a little strenuous and maybe a little exaggerated as well. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But looking into Quincy Promes in a little bit more of a statistical feel, because we do love our statistics over here at the Gooner Talk, obviously. So let's have a look. Obviously, at first, his heat map, what you can see, as James said, playing mainly on that left-hand flank. He's right-footed, so cutting inside on that side as well. But there's a little intensity there in his own half, showing he does track back. But you can imagine if he was playing under Arteta, you would hope to see a lot more defensive security made. We'll go into some of those defensive stats in a minute. But first, have a look at those attacking stats. This season, in 5 competitions, being in the Eredivisie, Champions League, Super Cup, Europa League, and the KNVB Becker, he has scored 16 goals and has got 3 assists, which is considerably more than that of Willian this season. Of course, we're seemingly signing the Brazilian, but Quincy playing on the opposite flank and Willian typically on the right, although there's rumours he could be playing more centrally for us this season when he signs, if he signs. But in terms of his actual statistics, dribbling, technical ability is all about Promes. 3.89 dribbles per game, 50% success rate in those, 7.75 offensive duels, winning 34% of them. Shots, in terms of where he's taking his shots from, definitely you can see a skew to the left-hand side of the field. But typically, very, very central when he's taking them. Look at the concentration of those shots in the middle of the box there. And his goals are all coming from inside the box, which tells you he does cut inside fairly often, getting into the box and being dangerous, running and making runs for the opposite flank to cross those ball into the box for him to get on the end of as well. The fantastic one, which is this one in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, I don't want to show you any video. That was close. No, we don't want to show anything in terms of video. We don't want to get copyright strikes. But in terms of that sort of area of the game, obviously that shows you what Y Scout can do. You can watch stuff. But in terms of those shots, there was a fantastic goal. The ball came into the box from the right to the left. Really tight angle, and Promes was able to comfortably just pop it into the box, and it was absolutely fantastic in that sense. So yeah, 100%. This is a player that I like. The intricacies of the deal, being in his late 20s, the impact it would have on the young players puts me off so slightly. But it's his passing and his creativity that I love. And in particular, the way that he puts his crosses into the box as well. If we have a quick look at some of the examples here, this one, playing on the left flank, ball is in the middle of the pitch. I believe it's Tadic playing the ball through to Promes. And when he gets into a dangerous area, the sort of the skill and the ability and the knowledge to play the right type of pass, not a lofted cross, but a ball on the ground into the middle, back to his colleague to create an opportunity here is a great example. Slightly further back this time, seeing the space of Van der Beek in the middle and finding that ball to the far side, and the amount of space that Van der Beek was given when he receives the ball is great vision from Promes to find him in this scenario as well. Another example here where he loves to get to the byline and cut inside before playing his crosses into the box for Tadic to get onto the ball fantastically and score as well. So he is a creative player. I love the creative part of his game, but he's got that little bit of verve about him as well. Looking into passing into the final third, 3.45, which is lower actually than the passes that he plays into the penalty area, which is impressive. And more impressively, 63.6 of the passes he makes into the penalty area are accurate, which is exceptional and really, really strong in terms of his accuracy and success rate of creating those chances. Forward to backward passes are very similar because, as we say, he's a winger that likes to get to the byline and get those cutbacks going as well. But passes in general, 85% passing accuracy. Not too many long balls because he's the guy that's found typically on the end of moves or with the final pass being made into the cross. Just over 2 crosses being made per game, 34.6% passing accuracy with those crosses. Through balls, not so much part of his game. We finally move on to those defensive statistics and looking into what makes him tick in a defensive sense. Defensive duels, 3.57s, not too bad. And a 58% win rate is also very good, winning 41.7 of his aerial duels. And he gets involved with over 2 of those as well, is really good. 32.9% loose ball duels won is a little bit on the lower side. Maybe we could see that go slightly up. And 1.78 interceptions isn't too many, but for a winger, you're not expecting to see too many of those. Losses to recoveries, an expansive, attacking, primal player like Promes, you're going to see a lot more losses than you are recoveries, but 70% of the recoveries that he makes are done in the opposition half, which is really, really nice, which leads to a very, very low disciplinary record in terms of the amount of yellow cards and red cards, only 5 this season. So there you go. There is all of your statistics regarding Quincy Promes. Thank you again to James for all that information. In terms of a final judgment on the player, I like him. I really like him. Maybe it's just the romantic in me wanting Quincy Promes, who I've liked for quite a long time, even from his time in Russia, ending up at Arsenal eventually. Maybe my heart wants him a lot. My head is saying that, Tom, what you're talking about, you can't moan at Coutinho playing mainly on the left wing and taking the places of the likes of Martinelli and Saka. Especially when we've got Willian. The selfish guy in me wants to get him. The smart guy on my head is saying, no, it's not the player that we need to prioritise in bringing in. If there was a swap deal which involved other players that they have, like I'd love Van der Beek. Oh my God, I'd love Van der Beek to come in. I don't see it as a realistic signing though, especially considering his links to likes of Real Madrid. But he, for me, would be the perfect Ceballos replacement if we don't manage to tie Ceballos down. So, yeah, Van der Beek 100%. But Promes, not the player for the position at the money that it would cost to get him in for me. And therefore, rules him out for me of a move to Arsenal. But that's me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave your comments. Should we get Promes? Is he someone that you want? Is he someone that you like? If not, who is it that Arsenal should be looking at? There were links to another Dutch winger, again in Justin Kluivert, today being involved in a possible swap deal with Amadou Diawara and Lucas Torreira. We talked about those swap deals on yesterday's TGT Writers pod, so make sure you check that one out. Please leave the video a like if you've enjoyed the show, and of course, give us a follow over on Twitter at the Gooner Talk TV. I've been Tom. I've enjoyed talking to you about Quincy Promes. Follow James as well and give him some love also. But other than that, it's been a pleasure. And as always, up the Arsenal.